people are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Do not come. Do not come.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat, our Sunday night shit show. Yawn.
Shit, it is.
Yawn.
It's you gonna bore me with these questions about people, and workers, and farms, and health, and
like the chaos that we have all been enduring these past, whatever 6 years, that was just like upped by him. Desperate economy, disease, climate, genocide, war, economic devastation. Yawn.
snooze fest. Nobody cares.
Why do you keep asking these?
Have you seen my gold?
Dumb journalist lady?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, super, like Gaslit Nation. That is truly what we are.
What in the hell?
Well, hello, everybody. Let's say a big welcome. Hi, Kimiko. Happy Sunday to you. In spite of the whole shit show, we have the shit show. That's right. Something we can all look forward to. Hi, Myra. How are you? And we've got Truth to Tweet. I read that and I was like, what does that mean? Like, oh, that's the name of our show. The Big Yawn.
The Big Yawn.
NorCal, hello. Welcome. Holly, hello. Zizu. Everyone aroused as only Chuck Schumer can make happen. Oh my God.
Horny for 2026 midterms.
We need a whole new group of people that we can deride, lambast. Yes. Hello. Hi, Hope. How are you? And
They
yes.
they are making a lot of new segments for potential show intros. With did you see RFK when the quack his
That's actually
so
that's my ringtone for Asher. So like when I hear that, I'm like, wait, what? Oh, yeah. I mean, totally just disgraceful. I mean, just disgraceful. There's just we've said it all and it just keeps happening. So here we are. Hello, Wally. How are you? And I am truly frightened. That's where we are headed.
We're selling horses for meat.
Either that
Wild
or
horses.
We've got the poisoned ones from Argentina. So whichever one feels better for you. I did not know that. We can add them to the people in Gary, Indiana. What's the government response? What's a government even for, though? I mean, truly. Like what?
If they can't keep the power on, they can't keep the water clean.
Like truly. But I haven't heard a single thing from anybody in the administration about anything.
Haven't heard the Democrats fighting back, really.
Don't be weird about this, Pat.
Yeah,
we get a lot of don't be weird. Here's my poofy belly as AOC shows the effects of her, I was going to say IVF injections.
Maybe it is an IDF injection. Maybe.
She's found her long lost love. Hi, Donald. How are you? The runs. Hello. Sorry. I was just scrolling through and didn't even say people's names. Jason. Hello. 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 All right. We're going to get this show on the road. Hello. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. Mystery meat. It's going to be so bad. Like really, truly. We
have no regulation left. If there's one thing the government should do is a little bit of regulation.
Why would you do that? My freedoms.
It's the stuff that we can't individually do. That's the stuff we want the government to do.
And also, by the way, the farmers, many of whom voted for Trump, would love not to have their beef industry be completely undermined by importing poisoned beef from Argentina. Hi, Glenn. How are you? All right, here we go. We're going to just start with a cheers that can make us all feel a little
something.
Yeah. Although like the setup of it sucks. This is in Minnesota. Jake Lang is there just trying to incite more race riots and why he doesn't like certain black people, whom, of course, on the signs calls the N-word and his whole group of people. But your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man comes to the rescue for a couple minutes.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out! Here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Yes, he tough. He's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there!
Of course, Spider-Man's arrested.
Spider-Man.
And the cops protect the Nazi.
What the fuck? Fuck you!
I loved also the calls to get rid of Mayor Fry, whom everybody has hated since, before 2020 and George Floyd's murder. And somehow he's still in office. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, because
But I gotta say, it's not just the Spider-Man. The crowd pushed back on all the cops. The cops were there to protect Lang, and the crowd was not having it with the cops, and the cops lost. So that's what we need.
Do we have an update yet on poor Spidey?
I don't. He got arrested, obviously. We saw that.
Yeah, but is he out?
I don't know. I know he's raised a fuck ton of money for his GoFundMe, so I hope he gets rich off of it.
All right. Yeah, he should. He absolutely should. Yeah. We're not voting our way out of this. I know we know that. We say it all the time, but for real, we are not. Okay. This is me infusing some joy into all of us before we cry to the bottom of the bottle. Here we go. All right. What do we have? Nice little ditty.
How about If I Was Gonna Stage a Coup by Sam Hodgson?
That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
Well, if I was gonna stage a coup in an upcoming election, what exactly would I do to safeguard my protection? I think I'd build myself a great big room with some strategic placement, and I'd put guided missiles on the roof and data centers in the basement. And in case they try to send the troops when I perform my little coup, I'd need a private army to be present when I stage it. But from there it's not too difficult, so let's not overcomplicate it. I'll just need a couple working years of solid degradation, and I'll see how far my party goes along before they question. I'd see how many citizens can die with no arrests, and I'd stress test the balances and the checks of the Constitution before I stage my little insiders only revolution. And if I was gonna stage a coup in 2028, I think I'd set up a crypto coin through my family's estate, and I'd take billions in contributions from foreign heads of state. I'd take Qatari jets and make 3,000 insider trades, and then I'd have my sons invest in AI tech for guided drones and bombing, start a peace in the Middle East and let the drones start data farming. And if I was gonna stage a coup, I'd nationalize elections, and I'd tell the people that I'm doing all of this for their own protection. And I wouldn't leave the White House once the final ballot's cast, and when the election has been certified, I'd send my happy ass inside my brand new spanking ballroom built to withstand any strike. And I'd have my private army ready with me day and night, and I'd call the Congress compromised. I'd say the court's been jeopardized, and once the country's paralyzed, I'd institute the Reich. Well, if I was gonna stage a coup to satisfy my ego, I guess I'd dress up like Jesus Christ and try to play the hero. And I'd tell the world to be afraid of all their friends and neighbors, and just like Jesus taught us, I would punish those who waver. And if I was gonna stage a coup, I'd prop up J.D. Vance, and once his campaign starts to lose, that's when I'd have my chance. I'd say the system has been rigged, now it's time that we get rid of everything that I have been harmful to the truth. So say goodbye to the fake news outlets, adios to those who doubted, sayonara to the green card scammers, au revoir to the foreign landers, chop the head off of Bernie Sanders, AOC and Biden's handlers. No more US as we know it, no more news or whistle blowing. Goodbye years of rigged elections, goodbye human rights protections, goodbye anyone who questions golden statues I've erected. Billionaires will all be smitten, all the while I'll just be sitting back to reaping all the profit and silence those who try to stop it. If I was gonna stage a coup to show the world how great I am, these are the things that I would do, my 2028 election plan.
Certainly a lot to think about there, huh?
I mean,
great.
it is wild. I have not been one of these people that thinks Trump's going to try to hold power. But
I don't think it
like,
matters.
look, you got to look at how are we here right now? I never thought we'd be here. So you can't just ignore, like, all of his steps do match somebody who would try to retain power.
They sure do. And the truth is, I mean, it might be Trump, but even if it's not Trump, look what he's been allowed to get away with from everybody who's in the ruling class, right? So whatever the staged coup is, it's already playing out because this is all happening. Like they've all
Right.
just decided what we are allowed to have and what we're not, how much our democracy is worth, you know, like, so like it's
Right.
all there. But yes, no, I understand. I don't think he's going to stay in.
The real private coup is the tech bro takeover, and that's infused with Israel, and that's why it's so difficult to get away from it. And neither party is actively fighting either of those entities, Israel or the tech bros.
100%. They both approve of it. It's a bipartisan effort, truly. I mean, to see Democratic leadership go after the most mild of DSA candidates instead of going after the Trump administration, ICE, cops, genocide, war in Iran, our economy, the fact we don't have health care, that we don't have housing for all, like all of the things that they could actually be spending time on, right? So it shows where their priorities are. And yeah. All right. Well, I know we all know the, I guess we should start with the reason for the title of our show, which is Trump being asked about the housing bill that he had initially supported with, it was primarily a sort of Elizabeth Warren, so not sure how much it would have been heavily means tested, but something. And then pulled back because, you know, he didn't want Democrats to have any win at all under him. So he's asked about the housing bill, and this is his response.
What are your plans for the housing bill, Mr. President? Are you?
I don't know. I think it's so unimportant. Here's what I would like to say. It's a yawn. Just about everything is a big yawn.
Awesome. I mean,
It's just
okay.
absolutely amazing this guy has any support, even among his diehards. Like,
It's insanity. It's insanity. Yeah. So, you know, that's a big yawn. The housing issue, which is an enormous fucking issue, obviously. He also announced, today I concluded a deal to substantially lower the price of ground beef for working American families. As everyone knows, under President Biden, beef prices soared at their fastest rate and the American beef herd fell to its smallest size in modern history. As we work to rebuild this herd and help our ranchers for the next 90 days, the United States will allow up to 300,000 metric tons of product for ground beef. I mean, by the way, that's such a weird phrasing. Product for ground beef to be imported with no out of quota tariff. We have a commitment that this beef will be sold at 25% below current market prices. This deal will reduce prices for Americans while giving space for our great American beef herd to grow again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
yeah, it's probably the wild horses. It sounds more and more like the wild horses.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they are carting them away. There's video of them carting them away in the middle of the night and then taking them to different facilities. Who knows? This is from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Chief Executive Officer Colin Woodall issued the following statement in response to President Trump's post regarding beef imports. NCBA is disappointed by the president's statement. While America's cattle producers share the goal of keeping groceries affordable for consumers, flooding the market with government subsidized below market beef is not the way to rebuild the American cattle herd. Cattle markets have already turned sharply lower this morning to the detriment of farmers and ranchers. This is a critical time of year for cattle producers as we approach the season where they are making decisions regarding their herds. Cattle farmers and ranchers are responding to strong market signals and historically high demand, and we are already working to rebuild after years of ongoing drought, high input costs, and other challenges that have reduced U.S. cattle numbers. Today's announcement and other market interventions throw cold water on the prospect of herd expansion and sacrifices long-term stability for short-term messaging. What capitalism, though? Who needs government subsidies?
Yeah. It's such a disaster. And, you know, what about the free market? And what about, you know, if the business isn't good enough to survive on its own, you don't bail it out? And what about America first? Why are we going to another country? And does other country, the beef we're bringing in doesn't have the same safety standards? You know, I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't want anything I'm eating to ever be called product. That's really fucking disturbing.
Product for ground beef. So a few months ago, there were, I think, 22 tons of meat that China rejected because, and I'll show you here, rejected because they had chloramphenicol, a restricted antibiotic banned in livestock production for human health safety, as well as broader trade and market adjustments involving specific processing plants. They rejected from Argentina, 22-ton cargo from the Ari beef plant. So at first, Trump didn't talk about where the beef was going to be imported from. It just wasn't going to be U.S. subsidizing our own U.S. farmers. So he was asked about that and why he's bailing out Argentina, his good friend Milei, and this is how he responded.
The question is, what do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as they are
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can. But don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying. All right? They're dying.
What do you mean by...
Why are they dying? Why exactly is Argentina dying, one might ask? Could it be because they have this fascist Milei there who took a buzzsaw to all of their social safety net programs? And then we had, what's his name, Elon Musk parading around on stage with Milei with his prop or real chainsaw and saying we were going to do the same thing here, which we did. They're dying. Yeah. Because austerity kills people.
It absolutely does. I think it does it at a slower pace in the U.S. That's it. But on a broader scale because we have so many people. But it's, you know, you're seeing it happen there more severely than here. But it's the same thing that's happening here.
It's the same thing that's happening here. And that's who Doge was modeled after, right? Yeah, I mean, so don't eat the meat. Where's the beef? Don't eat the beef, you know? What happens when you don't have regulations? Nobody trusts the meat. People, are they going to just tolerate being sick repeatedly? I think I saw a comment at the beginning from Director of Demonetization saying people are now getting used to being sick all the time with COVID or not COVID, just a cold or allergies or whatever the hell. You know, we have explosive diarrhea outbreaks. We have, I mean, I guess people are just going to get used to it. I don't know.
They get used to it. And you hit a point where people can't keep their jobs because they're sick so much, you know, and there's no government program or there's no you know, protection for any of that.
Yeah.
Every other country has figured it out a little better to keep their sick people taken care of than we do too.
Yep. Absolutely. You know, I was talking a couple weeks ago over your birthday. I was in San Francisco to see an old college friend of mine, a really dear friend, who's been living in Berlin basically since we graduated, and a little bit also, anyway, mostly Germany. And she was talking about, she's a oncological psychiatrist. So she mostly deals with patients who have just discovered or who are going through cancer treatments.
Right.
And she was saying that, you know, the people she works with, like they just call in sick when they're sick, or they say my kid's sick and then they just don't come. And there's a structure for that. Like that's how you treat adults. And, you know, she was like, listen, obviously there are people who abuse it sometimes, take a mental health day, and, you know, then we have to carry the extra weight. But for the most part, it's a much more civilized way of treating people, but also they don't poison their food the way we do in Europe.
Absolutely. And look, most countries give the man, when you have a pregnancy, more time off than our country gives the woman.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
We just don't get shit here.
That keeps saying they want people to reproduce, especially the white Christian ones. They want reproduction. Maybe they'll get the special need. Yes, they do. Okay, so that, you know, I mean, you know, we're in a stalemate with Iran. Nothing much is happening, and I guess we're just waiting for complete global economic collapse. Yeah.
Good show. Take care.
Excellent.
Take care.
You know, but it is like in the specter of Trump's regime and all of these ghouls that we get, you know, reporting about Hakeem Jeffries and Kushner meet privately to discuss which things they can collaborate on. And I am using the word collaborate. What is he wanting to collaborate on? Like, this is why that man should not be speaker, and anybody who is pre-endorsing is
why are you collaborating with a Nepo baby not elected to office? Like, why him? You know?
Yeah.
It's not like you're meeting with Trump or something and carving some sort of.
Yeah.
It's just the real estate fake peace broker in the Middle East who has no certification to do any of that work.
Yep.
Him?
Yeah.
You're gonna meet with him.
For why? Like, genocide enthusiast. Finish the job, Israel. Yeah.
That's the why.
It's pretty disgusting. Okay. Should we just like go through Democratic stuff before we?
Yeah, we should.
Oh. That's not even
Let's
what
go.
I was saying, but I love it. Okay, let's do it. Hello, Yeshaya. How are you? And we saw David NYC, and yes, Kushner has one issue: making billions off genocide. That is what they are collaborating on. Yeah, I am sure. All the same cult. Oh, Lord. Okay, here we go. Spinning. I don't have enough line. The power that I must hold to make the wheel do exactly what I want. Okay. All right. I see you, wheel.
Even better than wine is more wine.
Yeah. If less is more, think about how much more is. Oh my God, come on now. I think I was a little overserved on Friday night, so I'm gonna pace myself a bit so I can last our whole show. Here we go. Okay.
There you go.
Let's do it. Oh,
we're gonna mix it up with opossums. Here we go.
Hey, that wasn't very nice. I don't think I've ever seen it in my freaking life. Are you kidding me?
Hello, little kitties. Well,
You've outgrown my shoulder.
Oh no! Not the baby! Get your baby! Yes.
Is she softer?
She's so soft.
Hi, little mama.
I didn't know she was gonna be this soft.
Oh my god. Look at you. You're mothering a possum. You're the best, Tism. You go, girl. You're just a baby.
I don't know what's going on here, but look at this.
I don't know. I guess it's his way of cleaning himself.
It's okay. It's all right, buddy. Yeah.
Those shouldn't be pets, right? No. Oh, they're in the tattoo stuff now. That's...
No? You go get it yourself.
No way, guys! Check this shit out! I found an albino possum! Come here, buddy! He's fucking albino!
Yeah.
Okay. I know they're cute.
They're cute until they open. Oh, I love the tails, but when they open their mouth, they're not cute. It's the mouth that's just like the big old line of gator claws, gator teeth.
I don't know. It's the
Kind of-
rat tail for me. Was the albino one really an albino one, or was it a rat? They look like rats to me.
You got me. I don't know.
Oof, I'm really bad with. I know, and they're not rodents, but they look like rodents, right? They're like marsupials or something.
Sure.
I don't know. Oh God,
don't know.
it's it's like involuntary. I just
Really? Like it's like the thing with snakes. Some people just are like that with snakes.
I only have.
I
it
love
with-
snakes.
I have it with rodents. That's it. But they look like rodents to me, so that's enough. But they do seem really cute. But marsupial. Okay, thanks, Kimiko. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's. I was in such a wormhole of research with all of these crazy things that, again, are intersectional as they always seem to be, which is why I think it's like, well, if it's not Trump, it's somebody else. But Peter Thiel and the white nationalists and the Zionists will get their man in. And it's always so insane to me. Even though it makes sense, obviously the ideology is so similar, but the neo-Nazi white supremacists have such an overlap with Zionists and support Zionists, and Zionists support them. And that is, it's so instructive about what Zionism actually is. But it also, it's like my brain kind of starts, as I start unpeeling things, it's like, but wait, and they all are working together. So let's start with last week. Last week was the first time I heard of Jason Arday. 41. He was appointed as a professor of sociology in 2023 at the age of 36. Wait a second. That's 3 years ago. All right. Well, I see. That's somewhere that math isn't mathing, but okay. Becoming Cambridge's youngest Black professor. I'm blaming this writer, not Jason Arday, who's been blamed and accused of pretty much everything. Arday, who was diagnosed with autism, earned 2 master's degrees and a PhD in educational studies from Liverpool John Moores University. So youngest Black professor at Cambridge. Very quickly, I think it was on the 14th, so about 9 days ago, there was an onslaught of media attention about him, accusing him of plagiarism.
I'm Professor of Sociology of Education at the University of Cambridge.
3 years ago, Jason Arday became the youngest ever Black professor appointed at Cambridge University, an 800-year-old institution.
Professor Jason Arday joins us now.
He was interviewed about the achievement on CBS News.
If I'm being absolutely candid and honest, not many teachers at school had any belief in me.
Now Arday has fallen from grace, accused of plagiarising some of his academic writing and lying about claims he ran 600 miles in 6 days to raise money for charity. The scandal's front-page news here in the UK, and the former Professor of Sociology of Education has now resigned, saying in a statement that it should not be mistaken for an acceptance of the narratives that have surrounded him. Cambridge University says it's launched an investigation. There are now questions about Arday's autobiography, scheduled to be published this month. Holly Williams, CBS News, London.
Okay, so there were hundreds of pieces about Jason Arday and dissecting, everything he had written, anything he claimed. He said he was mute, I think, until he was 11. He said he had had a semi-professional football sort of, not career, but he had sort of played semi-professional soccer, right, in UK. And it started with this piece by this guy named Kofnes. What's his first name? Nathan Kofnes. Okay, so this is from a piece in Byline Times by Dr. Nafiz Ahmed. Jason Arday was targeted in a coordinated campaign by an anti-Black race science network with ties to Cambridge and pro-Trump billionaire Peter Thiel, whipping up a catalog of systemic misinformation across the British press. He goes on. Jason Arday, a 41-year-old academic who resigned as Cambridge's professor of sociology of education, was found dead on Friday. That was the 14th of August, following intense scrutiny of many aspects of his qualifications and personal life by the majority of the established press. His coordinated targeting by an explicitly anti-Black race science network did not come out of nowhere, Byline Times can reveal. Backed by the pro-Trump Silicon Valley billionaire Peter Thiel, this network has spent a decade penetrating Cambridge University before reaching Reform UK, Restore Britain, and the pan-European far right. This phase of the campaign against Jason Arday began when academic and anti-Black racist Nathan Kofnes raised claims of plagiarism in Arday's work in a Substack post last month. The story it fueled was then dissected in more than 200 articles across the majority of the British press in the weeks that followed, both in print and online. He goes on. So forgive me because there's a lot of information in here and how they're all tied to Peter Thiel and white nationalism and race science. On the 21st of July, Nathan Kofnes published the article which launched the campaign against Jason Arday. Titled DEI Fraud and Cover-Up at Cambridge, he portrayed Arday's appointment to Cambridge University in 2023 as evidence that it had grabbed a random Black person and abandoned academic standards in pursuit of diversity. On August 9th, Kofnes said that a male faculty member at Cambridge University, who he said he was not allowed to name, had contacted him on the 13th of June with information about Jason Arday. He referred to this person as a whistleblower who feared professional retaliation. Kofnes then examined Arday's PhD thesis and published his allegations about alleged plagiarism. Liverpool John Moores University had already formally tested the central allegation about Arday's PhD the previous year, following claims by the Times and the Telegraph. Its inquiry found citation defects but did not uphold plagiarism, concluding that the problems were caused by honest and reasonable error, compounded by inadequate supervision regarding Arday's learning disabilities. I would like to say at the front here that I do think that going through academics' works and making sure that they have not used AI or plagiarized is an important part of academia if we're to have any faith in academia and academics. But it needs to be applied uniformly, consistently, which we will get to. But I just, the Matt Taibbis of the world are, full on that, like, this was not a problem of media. It was a problem of Jason Arday being pushed up and DEI, which is so disgusting. But here's the crazy part, okay? So at the ideological center of the network of people who were picking at all these threads is aporia. an online magazine which serves as the public-facing arm of the Human Diversity Foundation, now known as Polygenic Scores. The Human Diversity Foundation was a rebranded and relaunched version of the Nazi-era Pioneer Fund, which sought to mainstream its eugenics doctrines through aporia. Tech billionaire Peter Thiel has cultivated ties to key actors in this network, to Cambridge professor James Orr, through whom he channeled a donation to Cambridge, to Orr's Cambridge Circle, to online magazine Quillette, which published attacks on Arday, and directly to Nathan Kofnas and Aporia senior editor Noah Carl. Orr linked this infrastructure to politics. Reform UK's head of policy and an advisor to the Free Speech Union organization, he invited Aporia into national conservatism. At the Sanctuary, a right-wing hub in Westminster, Aporia and the Orr-backed Cambridge Scrutonian Society have separate offices provided by crypto billionaire Ben Delo. Delo gave Reform $4 million in early 2026. He also sponsored the Free Speech Union. Again, all of these PayPal mafia people have ties actually to Nazism, to Nazis.
To Nazis, and why are these tech bros so eager to push this? You know, it's so they can reshape academia, so they can they can institute their eugenic policies of, hey, AI is better than people. What matters is we race to AI, not we race to feed the homeless. Because the homeless are less valuable people than even AI. And they're definitely less valuable than you and I.
100%. And because a lot of these people are they are transhumanists. They do not see a value in regular humanity. They want their new social contract. They don't believe in democracy. It impedes their freedom. And they are eugenicists. So the other interesting thing is Chris Rufo, who is American. He also has ties to Scientific Racism, the journal Aporia. Okay, so it's the sociobiology magazine Aporia, which is funded heavily by Peter Thiel. Now, Kofnas, who is the one who wrote the Substack in July, he was fired from Cambridge's Emmanuel College in 2024 after publishing an article arguing Black people are less intelligent than white people. He said he ran Arday's thesis through plagiarism detecting software and found passages were lifted with minimal editing. At the time he wrote that, he was working at Ghent University in Belgium. He was just suspended the day after, was that the 23rd, 22nd, 21st, 2 days after Jason Arday died by suicide. He was just suspended by Ghent University. They will almost certainly fire me. And he points out that the decision was made by Rector Petra de Sutter, a former leader of the Green Party. Our U.S. ambassador to Belgium, I mean, this to me feels like such a strange, our U.S. ambassadors in Israel won't even call out when U.S. citizens are killed by IDF or terrorist settlers, right? But this guy's fired. This racist piece of shit is fired. And our U.S. ambassador strongly condemns, or in the strongest terms, condemns in the strongest terms retaliation against an American scholar following his accurate whistleblower reporting on academic fraud. Okay. You're muted.
Yeah, but I think the point is he wasn't even fired for that, the attack on this guy. He was fired for his racist beliefs.
Okay, so wait, so those are two
he was
different
suspended
things.
afterwards.
He
was
fired from Cambridge in 2024, but he was just suspended from Ghent.
Gotcha.
After Jason Arday
I missed
died,
that. Yeah,
right?
Got it.
So he's got a troubled, people, I mean, the few remaining academics at some of these institutions who aren't race biologists find him repugnant, or at least it's difficult to justify that he's there for some of them. So not only were, many of his claims that did sound crazy. Like let's see, one of the things that he said he was going to run, was it 30 marathons in 30 days? I think that's what he said. There is an independent journalist. She went through and he actually did and raised a ton of money for whatever the foundation was that he was doing that for. And she even could link to his contemporaneous blog on through web archive to see him logging his different runs. There were contemporaneous journalists and news media profiling him because it was such an amazing endeavor and feat, and he actually did achieve that.
And you know what's wild is I was following this story before he killed himself on NPR, and they were sharing this shit.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Novara Media, which is they consider themselves sort of lefty, in the UK. I mean, they have some good stuff, but
But to not even casually look at the source of all of this, the impetus of it all was Kofnas, who started it.
Yep.
And to not dig a little bit.
That's right. That's right. So also, just as a reminder, because all of these people play together. And first of all, this woman, we've shown so many clips of her being just repulsive. She's on Talk TV in UK. And there was a fundraiser launched to cover his funeral, and she quote tweets it and says, "I'm pretty sure Jason Arday's huge book advance would be enough to cover his funeral costs. Give your money to a more deserving cause." That is a TV
just
host
fucking
on national media.
Scumbag.
Yeah.
And just factually, I'm sure you have to pay back the advance. You know what I mean? From his estate. So even that is just.
Well, okay. So another thing was he was supposed to be writing an autobiography, and it was in various stages of publishing development. So that was another thing that they were trying to call him out.
Fraudster.
Yeah, exactly. And then, just because Zy Squirrel always is right on it, this account, Zy Squirrel, reminded people that there is currently a professor at Cambridge, a white man, which is why you've never heard his name, Dr. William O'Reilly, who not only plagiarized extensively from other academics, but also from his own undergraduate student, and then repeatedly lied about it and threatened those who wanted to report on it. After a long investigation, Cambridge University defended him by saying that his plagiarism from his student was accidental, and he is still a professor there. Another professor accused of plagiarism who did not lose her position, Neri Oxman. Academic celebrity Neri Oxman plagiarized from Wikipedia, scholars, a textbook, and other sources without any attribution. She admitted to lifting passages from other scholars' work. Business Insider found 28 additional instances of plagiarism in her dissertation and other papers. Oxman lifted text from more than a dozen Wikipedia articles without attribution, but do remember that she is married to billionaire Zionist Bill Ackman.
Yeah.
But let's just keep unwinding those threads, because Ackman participated heavily in getting Harvard President Claudine Gay fired. I think she ended up resigning, but Congress widens investigation into Harvard to include plagiarism allegations against President Claudine Gay. The whole interconnection of these people. Business Insider is owned by the same media conglomeration that Axel Springer owns. Axel Springer, and we showed this a few weeks ago, also is the head of Europe's largest news aggregator, which is called Upday. And he has been instructing journalists to cover the war in Gaza with pro-Israel bent. He also is the owner of Politico and Telegraph And he and his underling, Matthias Dopfner, told journalists that they must support Israel or resign. And here is Peter Thiel with Matthias Dopfner. Dopfner's married to Ulrike Weiss, the daughter of Ulrich Weiss, a former management board member of Deutsche Bank, and one of his sons works as the chief of staff to Peter Thiel.
It's all so incestuous, and all these politicians, and tech bros, they just buy institutions. Once you buy the news, you shut everything down. You control the narrative as much as possible, which is obviously why they've gone after independent media so hard with Twitter and YouTube and all these sources. Because it's if they can get that shut down, we're going to be passing notes to each other. I mean, what are we going to do?
Yeah. I mean, and that is their whole, they are taking over all of the media. Like, they're not even trying to justify what Israel is doing anymore. They are, at this point, they are just saying you can't talk about it. Like, even talking about it is anti-Semitic.
Yeah, well, you don't have to lie if you just ignore it.
You don't have to lie if you suppress it and make it illegal to talk about it, right? Like, it's so crazy. Also, it's like, again, all of the different issues we all talk about all the time converge, because if there weren't monopolies, if one guy didn't own the UK Telegraph, US Politico, the aggregation website in Germany, he owns
if there was
all of it, right?
If we had a free market of mainstream media, we would choose the sources we trusted.
That's right.
And all we have now is sources we don't trust. And which source do you trust the most, even though you don't trust them also?
This was just from a few days ago. An invitation-only gathering in Italy, white supremacists mapped out strategies to target rural America while local press coverage vanishes. As economic pressures gut local newsrooms across the country, white nationalist figures see an untapped opening, stepping into media deserts where there are few journalists left to sound the alarm. Local media has been dying all over America, which means that there's essentially no real way to hold local governments accountable, and they can do whatever they want. Breaking into a broad smile, he excitedly added, "You should be fantasizing about this. This is a good thing." I don't know. To me, that's more important than IVF treatment.
Yeah.
It's also terrifying to see how it just is all interwoven, right?
Yeah, and those media deserts, they're calling it. It takes a lot of money to go in there and put up some news, but the billionaires have endless money, especially if it can strengthen their narrative. And so they're going to do it. And the White Supremacist Project is partnering with them. And there you go.
And again, like the idea that Zionism is so overlaps, like almost a complete circle with white supremacism and eugenics, obviously tells us all what Zionism is, but it is also, I think, possibly eye-opening to some liberal Zionist people whom you might still know. Do you know what I mean? Like, because the fact that they support racism and racists support them truly should, that is so instructive.
Yeah, and I think part of it from the tech bros is also just opportunism. Like, how do we get support somehow among people? And this is a group that will be fervently behind them, and they're also militant and armed and eugenic. And so those kind of things, that you need people like that to support cutting food to people. You need people like that to say, I don't want to help the black guy, or you know.
And only fat or old people are going to die from COVID.
Yeah, I mean, that part was bipartisan because that was an attack on capitalism.
Right. Yep. And yeah, that's also a really good point, Hala. What's the difference between that Talk TV UK lady's tweet after Jason Arday died and anybody who was fired after saying anything about Charlie Kirk, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Do we leave it out that he killed himself? You know, that's the end of that story.
He died by suicide. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
I think most people know, but look, if somebody kills himself and they were accused of plagiarism, I'm not going to dance on their grave. Like that's not,
God.
even the worst of right. It's
should not be. It should not be a fatal crime.
Yeah, that's disgusting, obviously.
Yeah. But it is just to see the machinations of how these people work, that they buy our media, our governments, our academic institutions. They're taking over social media. It does feel overwhelming and terrifying. And the fact that there is so little pushback to all of this, because remember when Claudine Gay was let go and those congressional hearings that happened in the end of 2023 because there were campus protests, she and the president of UPenn and was it Cornell or MIT were hauled before Elise Stefanik.
Yeah, I mean,
anti-Semitic.
That's when I knew we were cooked in the U.S. at least on this issue. Is that the schools didn't fight back. The schools joined the government to go after their own students. They didn't defend their own scholars who were attacked as well. So we lost them. You lose the schools and the media. Now you're losing the source of educating people, and both sources of educating people have to stay in line.
Yep.
So now it's just left to us, the independent folks, finding our sources online or reading articles, but there's no big, like we can't reach the normie Dems if they're not watching our show and shows like ours. Right. So we have to do it in person somehow, but that's so much more difficult.
Because it also just sounds like the most fabulous, like that in the original meaning, like a fantastic, insane conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and especially when it's a conspiracy theory against the Jews, exactly. it's like okay, Pat. And
meanwhile, that Julian Kaufness is on Rob Monk's show. I don't even know who that is, talking about how this was before Jason Arday died by suicide, but after Kaufness had written his, his blog about him. That, after all this, he should be the head of Department of Eugenics at Harvard. Oh, and by the way, all of these people who are talking about, plagiarism, they're not holding that same energy for, like, Alan Dershowitz. And they're certainly not holding that same energy for anybody who was at all involved with Jeffrey Epstein, like both Dershowitz and Neri, Ackman's wife, right? Like the idea that plagiarism, which I do take seriously, right? You should not plagiarize intentionally or even not. Like it's, to me, I like academics, academia, knowledge, the way we present ourselves, honesty, like all of that means something.
Right.
But it's not on the same level with a global child rape network or genocide.
100%.
Just gross. All right. Should we just spin before we move on to the next thing?
We should do that.
I know.
We should.
I know.
Deep sigh.
Deep sigh.
Cleansing.
That's what we need. A little joy. Little puppets in our life.
This will be our last puppets. We need to rely on the others. Don't land on puppets again. Did you have one?
I pulled one that Truth Tweet sent us earlier. It's just not wrapped. But I do have another one. But,
Keep it queued up. Here's another puppet. Some dogs.
asa na to. Oh.
I love. I don't understand how they can just fall asleep like that. It's so cute. That's really cute.
Yeah.
All right. This is not gonna get you out of your depression, but we're forging ahead. It's important stuff. Here we go. We showed this last week. Safra Catz, Oracle's executive chair on IDF technology. Just as a reminder, as we are headed into our next segment.
Can I ask you, Safra, to don't want to say brag, but
No.
tell a little bit, how did you and Oracle respond to October 7th?
Well, first of all, the one thing that we did that was the most public was that on our website, it said we stand with Israel. Our global websites in local language. Now, it wasn't like one of those little we stand with Israel on the corner. You hit our website in an Arab country and you saw your entire screen filled with an Israeli flag, which said, not only we stand with Israel, we stand with our employees in Israel, we stand with the people of Israel, we stand with the military establishment of Israel. And we also had a link on where to donate to Magen David Adom. There's a few things that we did that I really can't talk about, to be honest, because to advance the agenda for the Israeli military. But our teams did a lot. We have some really profoundly scary technology at Oracle, and we wanted to make sure that it was available for the effort. Let's just say that. Okay?
I guess some of the employees, of course, were drafted to reserve service. Did the Israeli branch, stood up for challenges if you compare it to other branches that you have all across the globe?
Okay, so first, I was in the Kiryat, and I go in and I meet with everyone you'd imagine I meet with. And on my way out, I run into 5 of my team who are all in uniform working. And to be honest with you, it's like my proudest moment.
Like intensely sick, obviously. And sorry, Gwen, because I'm seeing that you wrote about the disability that played a part in the Jason Arday situation. And of course it did, and left him more vulnerable. I just didn't want your comment to go ignored. Truly horrific, all of it. Okay, that clip was circulating last week. We showed it last week. A couple days ago, Mark Ruffalo, this is probably not going to be easily read, but puts up on his reels. I don't know if this is Instagram or Facebook. I don't know. I don't do reels. I don't know. Threads, whatever the hell. But basically, this is what happened. Which I'm just going to go through the Variety article here. Paramount slams Mark Ruffalo merger attack as anti-Semitic, says company does not tolerate prejudice of any kind. So, Mark Ruffalo's latest attack on the Paramount Warner Brothers merger slammed the Ellisons family's ties to Israel and their role in what we now have come to see as a genocide in Gaza. Ruffalo shared a video of Oracle's executive vice chair, Safra Catz, that we just showed, boasting about the company's efforts to advance the agenda for the Israeli military by making really profoundly scary technology available to them. This is the company that Larry Ellison is using to fund his son David's Warner Brother acquisition, Ruffalo wrote in a fiery post. These really profoundly scary technologies will most likely be merged into one of the largest media conglomerates in the world and one day used on you, from one of the biggest tech companies in the world, powering some of the most destructive and inhuman forces in the world. Why has Trump pushed this illegal merger through? Larry Ellison will own most of Parabros. Larry is a classic oligarch. They are crushing workers and consolidating the wealth of the world for their own power and concentrated dominance.
They absolutely are.
Like, what's
It's right in front of us.
no lie there.
Yeah, Oracle's not evil. Well, she tells us they're evil. She says her whole staff, 5 of her big, when she talks about her team, she's talking about the people at the top, not some little subgroup, 5 of her team were in uniforms for Israel.
Yeah. And again, like we've seen, what's his name? The Palantir, Alex Karp talking about, the glee that he takes with the Palantir tech being used to slaughter Palestinians. Like, these people all hang out together, and there was actually video of we didn't pull, but anyway, I think in Berlin, of Alex Karp with Alex Springer's the second in command guy who told everybody, that they had to support Israel at Politico or resign. They're just hanging out. All these people are hanging out together. It's truly one huge club, and they own everything. And yeah, of course, these mergers shouldn't be happening. It is crushing workers. They are using it to do a genocide, and they're bringing all of that back here.
They're bringing back here, and getting them to part with Israel is damn near impossible, because it's part of their profit. They get these government contracts. They make more off the government contracts than they do any of the stuff that us as everyday citizens would ever use. Like, even Amazon makes way more money off government contracts and their backbone that they have for medicine and delivery and stuff than the consumer side of it, which is crazy, because they're the biggest business on the consumer side of everything.
It is so crazy that you can't even talk about things that they themselves actually bragged about. Okay, so this was from Jerusalem Post, and they're citing a press release from one of Ellison's media companies. And here it is: Jewish business leaders transform media landscape with $8 billion deal. And it goes on to say, both quietly donate quite a bit to the state of Israel and the IDF. It is positive news for the Jewish world that Korf and Ellison are the next generation of global Jewish leadership connected to Israel and holding Zionist values. I mean, they brag about it. But in the meantime, Paramount right away slams Mark Ruffalo. Words like genocide and apartheid applied to a corporate transaction aren't just wrong, they're a bridge too far, and they cheapen the very real suffering those words are meant to describe. This doesn't deserve a response in kind, and to be clear, we don't tolerate prejudice of any kind against anyone. This brings us to a moment to lower the temperature, not raise it. We'd rather build than further engage in such rhetoric. This simply exposes the true motivation of some who have advocated opposition to this transaction, because they're anti-Semitic, apparently. On the other hand, our commitment to great content is matched by our commitment to to acceptance, to every story, every storyteller, and no blacklists, no exceptions for anyone. Let's see what really happens. Tell that to Susan Sarandon. Earlier today, Ruffalo shared the video. Okay. And then he responded. This is his response. The accusation that I'm anti-Semitic is appalling and fundamentally dishonest. Criticizing the actions of the Israeli prime minister, a military technology contract, or the executives who supply it is not the same as criticizing Jewish people. This critical and necessary dialogue is then dishonestly framed as being anti-Israel. To be clear, my views come from my own political convictions and should never be interpreted as hostility toward Jewish people, for whom I have deep love and respect. Everything I know about acting, activism, and humanism has been profoundly shaped by the Jewish friends, colleagues, and loved ones who have been integral and family throughout every point of my life. This merger has real consequences for real people and for the entire country. Scrutinizing the Ellisons, including Oracle's business, built on data, surveillance technology, and government contracts, and the serious threat to editorial freedom and the loss of a livelihood for thousands of families is fair and necessary. The $111 billion deal would hand one of one family control over CNN, HBO, and Warner Brothers, backed in part by foreign money, whose influence on editorial decisions has never been fully explained to the public. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have called for serious national security review, and regulators still haven't given the public a real answer. Until they do, the merger shouldn't move forward. Now is the time to dive boldly into all these issues, not step back or concede. It would be so nice if people in the party of opposition would join in this call, right?
Yeah, you can't be on the side of the working class if you allow these media mergers, especially, which this is, it's largely about the news side of it, less the Hollywood side of it, but it's also that side of it. If all the creativity comes from both AI and Zionists, and if it frames these tech bros as geniuses and not the scumbag evil people we learn they are, they have tremendous power, and you just can't allow corporations to get big and grow power. We need to be shrinking it. And for any Democrat to not think we need to shrink corporate power shows they're not on the side of the working class, period. Yep. There should be no more big mergers. We should be breaking down big companies as we speak.
And again, like the fact that, and I will just always go back to this because these people are taking up the space of what real opposition would be. If you are doing thirst traps on Instagram with your IVF and not talking about these companies coming together like this, or talking about, the ICE agents, talking about the ongoing genocide, as somebody, just wrote, and I saw right before we came on, Chris Claus, 14-year-olds are flying kites in Gaza, and the defense minister is like, no, we have to shoot all of those people down. Maybe it could be repurposed into a weapon. Like this is
it's just joy. They don't want to see.
Yeah, every day. It's truly, truly horrific. And yeah, I mean, we alluded to this at the very beginning. Like, what are you meeting with? First of all, Jared Kushner. He's not supposed to be part of this administration. His whole role is to get money from the Saudis and to continue a genocide. That's it.
Yeah, it makes no sense. There's no legitimate reason to meet with him, period.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And also that very likely.
Yeah.
I was just listening to Chris Van Hollen on, the stab me in my ears, but the Kristen Welker Meet the Press.
Mm-hmm.
And, once a week I go on Facebook just to see like what my former friends are saying. I had an alert or like a notice 8 years ago today, and it was a post of all the Democrats in Congress in Congress, Senate or the House, who supported Bernie and Medicare for all. And of course, they're all like all the shitty Democrats we know who never have. But also Chris Van Hollen was there. He did not support Medicare for all. I don't know if he does now or if he says he does. He's done some good things about ICE, but people are pushing him as, he should be the next Speaker of the House. Like the people who are a little bit more on the left in the Democratic Party are saying it should be Chris Van Hollen, not Jeffries. I don't know. I can't get behind any of these people.
There's not a good Dem that's in the mix at all.
No.
For 2028. I mean, they're really pushing. This week I've seen a lot more awesome stuff.
Oh my God. Also, not for Medicare for all. I don't know why anybody thinks he's progressive.
Not for Medicare for all.
Not for washing ice.
Crypto bro. He's a crypto bro. He made the most money off crypto or made the most trades or something. I don't know.
Yep.
But
and he's being pushed. I think number one in the Democrats, the latest poll is Pete Buttigieg, AOC, John Ossoff.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious which one gets the progressive label the most. Are they going to say, John Ossoff, progressive outsider or something, like.
I think he
or is it going to be
AOC
Buttigieg?
will be.
Well, AOC obviously, but
yeah, but like, I don't know. I think she's doing herself an enormous disservice. Obviously, for all of us, like the whole IVF stuff, but like, this is a moment to be shouting from the rooftops.
Yeah. I mean, look, even if you can't get wins, you can be mad. Be as mad as the public. Don't be like, oh my God, here's my Instagram adorbs.
Yeah.
Don't
that's
not
weird.
And I will say that also to Minnesota guy. What's his name? Abdul El Said.
Yeah. Stop with the dumb dancing fucking.
The little cutesy TikToks aren't it, dude. Yep. They're not it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. The make things more affordable BS is making me crazy. What is that? That's a right-wing means testing, non-universal policy built to fail.
Right. And your 2-minute video of you doing a little dance, that turns a lot of people off, right? Yeah. For one, your own supporters are like, oof, serious moment. Why are you doing that? Right. And then the right gets to clown you.
Yep.
They get to call socialism a radical thing. And it just plays into a lot of bullshit,
Yeah.
But the other part is, what if you use that 2 minutes to just highlight a real problem? And then that would connect to all the people that understand that's a real problem. And the people that didn't, they get educated a little bit. But that's win-win. It's like why we need you, because this problem isn't being addressed. And look, I just brought it to you.
I mean, listen, I know people have things to say about Mamdani. I overall, at this point, still love him. I do, even though we have criticisms. I have criticisms. But like the fact he would like sit down and tell people about a real problem, and this is what's happening, and this is how we should fix it, or talk about a moment in history where we did more for people, or where, somebody like a trans activist fought for rights that now people enjoy. Like, use those moments.
He has absolutely done brilliantly in that respect. Like, going to the prisons and being with inmates, getting at their graduation for their GED, right? Wasn't that what he was there for? And
yep, he did that. He also watched some of the World Cup
football, right?
Yep. Yeah. That said, I thought that this was an effective ad from him. I agree with you. I can't stand all the other stuff, but I think this is, especially like watching these beef farmers, see their whole lives disappear. I mean, the number of farmers who have had to declare bankruptcy in the last year and a half, right? So I think this is a smart tactic.
I don't believe that we can't have nice things. I'm not willing to pre-negotiate with the opposition who tells us that it's better for us to send our money over there to drop bombs over there than to invest in healthcare here. And my job as your senator is to go and have that conversation everywhere and try to move hearts and minds. That's the job. So how do you get it done? You actually do the work of persuasion. You actually go to the places where people don't expect you to show up, and you have that conversation. And it turns out, I've been all over the state in places where people don't vote blue, quote unquote. And when you have those conversations with them, I had a guy come up to me, he's like, listen, man, I don't like you. I was like, okay. He's like, but I'm gonna vote for you. I'm like, okay. He's like, I think you really want me to have healthcare. I was like, I really want you to have healthcare. He's like, I know. So I'm gonna vote for you. I was like, okay, so why don't you like me? He's like, because you're Muslim. I was like, but I don't need you to like me. I need you to like you.
That is a much better ad. That's the right tact.
Right?
I don't know if his team is correcting or not, but what he was doing, what I've seen a lot of, is just really shitty AOC like little moments with him.
I agree. And I'm sure, I'm sure he was trying to soften his image, not a scary Muslim sexist man or whatever, but like, I don't know. I think you just have to meet the moment of where we are right now. But I thought that was really great. And the thing is, especially people of color, especially if they are at all, I mean, he's not a DSA person, but he is Medicare for all, and he is anti-genocide. but like Angie Nixon, I mean, look at this interview with Casey Hunt. What was it? Cunt waffle? No, what was the thing? Cunt ass Casey Hunt. what was the word that I was like, oh, that's going to be incorporated, and now I can't remember what.
Oh yeah, from that song, right?
Yeah.
Was it one of the music things?
I think it was cunt ass.
Mm.
But that MC Hammersmith, I didn't pull it because it wasn't like political, but just did a really good. You know, he's the one who we showed. He called out people. Actually, I think we have an LOL of him, a different one, but there were some Israelis in the audience, even maybe IDF people.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
he
right.
had to like, he was like, that just got a little, oh, it's real uncomfortable. It's real awkward in here. Like he had, you know, he asks for call outs from the audience of words that then he has to incorporate into his raps. And he just did one with cunt waffle. It was pretty good. Okay. So this is Angie Nixon getting fucking grilled in a way I have never seen Casey Hunt grill anybody else on if she will support Democratic leadership.
So given all of that you've just said, Hakeem Jeffries, who would be in line to be Speaker of the House, recently said he doesn't support Medicare for all. He's not on that bill anymore. He used to be. Is he wrong?
Right.
Why is the leadership, do Democrats have the right leaders here in Washington?
He is absolutely wrong. How can you all of a sudden change the tune? And I'll tell you how you change the tune. When your corporate donors
So should he
decide
not be
to
Speaker?
give you more money so that you won't, you know, that is up to the Congress people. I'm running for U.S. Senate.
Well, what about Chuck Schumer? Should he be the majority leader if Democrats take back the Senate?
You know, I think I would possibly be looking elsewhere when I become the next United States Senator in regards to leadership. And I mean, we need to make sure that we have people who are centered on people, who are working for people, right? And so again,
do you think
the
Schumer is going to
majority of
support
people
your
are
campaign? Do you expect Democrats in Washington to send money to help you win?
I actually have Democrats in Washington already sending me money and already agreeing to
DSCC,
campaign
have they
donations.
committed to go on the air for you in a big way?
Who did you say? The DSCC?
The DSCC.
No, I haven't heard from. No, they're. Yeah, no. Actually, our campaign is supposed to have a conversation with them sometime this week. But I want to be clear because a lot of people, this is my introduction to them. I am someone who is a former vice chair of a Democratic executive committee in Duval County. I also worked for the state party, the Florida Democratic Party, as a political director and a field director. I'm also a union organizer. I'm also someone who is not ashamed or afraid to vote against my caucus if it's not in the benefit, if it's not benefiting hardworking everyday people. I'm also okay with voting against Republicans. It's not about that. It's about the people for me.
Like I like contentious interviews. That to me didn't feel like that warranted such pushback, but I'd love to see her push back against other people. And oh, of course. Just like in Michigan with Jill Biden's former spokesperson.
But the implication is just like, it's kind of ridiculous. It's the news is doing the Democrats' job and corporate job, right?
Yep.
Because they're saying, if you don't support the leaders, the groups within the party shouldn't support you. And that's not a democracy, right? You're allowed to say, I don't like the leader, but I can have the DSCC's support, right? So she's making the assumption, well, why should anyone fucking back you if you're not going to back the leaders that don't support your positions?
Yep.
Which is just not democracy. I mean, we know we don't have a democracy, but like, you're the media. Come up with a better question.
Like, truly. He's not even a real Democrat. I mean, they're doing the whole Bernie thing all over again.
Yeah.
And, you know, I thought one response to that usually can be, but also never been a Republican. And the truth is, Democrats, the Democratic Party is fine with Republicans. Fucking Joe Biden was doing fundraising and rallies with Republicans in the Midwest in 2019. Elizabeth Warren was a registered Republican. Hillary Clinton was a Goldwater girl, right? So like, what does any of this mean? It's about the policies. It's just the fucking policies.
Yeah. And if you're I would say, Casey, which of these policies are so offensive to you? Giving people health care, is that really offensive to you? Is that why you're doing this work for the party?
Yeah.
To try to smear me as some unelectable radical when I literally worked within the party?
Okay with dying every year because they don't have health care.
Yeah.
Like, what's your number, Casey? Tell me. How many people is it okay with? Yeah, turn it back on those people because they're murderers. They're killers.
Yeah.
Like, truly.
And let me tell you, their own audience hates the fucking Democrats largely. Like, even though they're the most corporate, MSN and CNN are corporate as they get. And they're old people watching who are hardened, calcified, blue no matter who people. Yes, those are half their viewers. But the other half hates the fucking party. It's just the only source of news there is.
Yeah.
In their world.
Yeah.
But they want a fighter. They want someone who's going to fight. I mean, Chuck Schumer he's the most unpopular fucker in the Senate. He's not seen as some great guy, and he's so staunchly Israel, and the whole world fucking hates Israel. So, like, it's not hard to say, no,
Israel
Chuck Schumer has to fucking go.
Universal health care. Yeah. I mean, like, what are we doing? Because there's nothing, like, they bring up the things of the DSA, many of which DSA candidates don't even say they endorse. But, like, it is not radical. It is, especially in comparison to the rest of the world. And to keep, like, our country is so propagandized with our corporate media, and it's only going to get worse. It's just horrible. The Onion did this really funny little bit here. Candidates from the left's Democratic Socialists of America Party have been gaining momentum around the country in primaries leading up to the midterms. The Onion examines the common myths and facts surrounding the DSA. Myth: socialist ideas have never worked in the real world. Fact: no political theory has ever worked in real life. Myth: the Soviet Union had democratic socialism. Fact: the Soviet Union had a dog who went to space. Myth: the government will take away your money and give it to the poor. Fact: you are the poor. Myth: the workers of the world must unite and seize the means of production from the ruling class by force if necessary. Fact: the workers of the world should politely ask if they can have Labor Day off this year. Myth: DSA policies like universal health care would help millions of Americans. Fact: Israel has a right to defend itself.
Yeah.
I
got to say, I love that they've been on Palestine's side from the jump.
Yep.
Me
too. Because anybody with a fucking brain would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think these advisors who are advising progressive candidates when they go on their media appearances on mainstream TV, it's always like, make sure you come across safe to the but you don't want to be safe to the guests and hosts and your interviewer. You want to be safe to the viewers at home, and safe to them is very different. Safe to them is, oh, you're a fighter. I don't even care about the policies, but you're going to fight for, I mean, they care about the policies, but you're going to fight for the things you say for. I don't really care about how, I just trust you because you're pushing back. You didn't just cave and placate, this shitty interviewer. Like,
I agree because even people, again, I go back to Bernie, not because I agree with everything he says at all, but because I think he's sort of like the father of this movement and how he responds to things. And even when I don't agree with him, I don't feel like he's trying to soften anything. He's just saying what he feels. And I think that garners a lot of respect. He's not being bought off. He has arrived at different conclusions and strategies than I have. He is still a liberal Zionist. He still thinks he can work within the Democratic Party. All of that I disagree with. But I don't think he is trying to soften something to appeal to voters. He's trying to lay out what he believes is going to be helpful to them, I think.
Exactly. And if you're Angie Nixon, I'm not saying she handled that poorly. She was kind of, I give her a B, on that. But like, you just won your primary, right? So you have winners' rights to say your policies are all correct. And you should lead with that. But then second, your branding that got you there was fiery, angry black woman. Like, that's okay. You should be fiery, angry, and you're black. So like, backing off from it is a mistake. I mean, that's what got you there. The megaphone in Congress got you there, you know, like, and putting in the work and, you know, knocking on doors and making connections locally. That's the game.
Yep.
If you're a leftist.
In fighting about real things. It's not like, it's, as you said, as we all know, it's not just like fight. Like that was those dumb fucking Instagram videos that Schumer put out where they're all like, you know, jumping around and punching the air. I mean, that's actually exactly what they're doing. If on a good fight day, they're just punching the air and pretending. Yeah.
Well, and that's the other piece I was going to say that I kind of forgot. But like, okay, so what can come negatively out of your interview with her if you come across as the angry black woman, right? If that's the image you're trying to soften, that's your brand. It strengthens your case. It's like you're going to get more attention for your fiery interview where you push back and you got a 2-minute clip about Casey looking stupid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. You know, the consultant class, I mean, this is what's happening. It's a consultant class is, you know, we talk about this again. I know we all know this, but like their definition of success is predicated not on winning seats, but on being hired and rehired and being in the room. And you fail up, it doesn't matter. But they certainly need the money. It's the money they need, not winning seats. And they get paid by the same donors.
Yeah, and the donors will take, you know, this is why when you go to work within the party changes you. You don't change the party. It truly is. But you go in with the plan to, you know, put up all this housing or end homeless, feed the poor. And your feed the poor ends up, we guarantee Dorito bags have the right amount of chips in it. So that's all we could get. But, you know, it's the biggest change ever in feeding the poor to history, historically.
Yeah. It's the biggest climate bill and the biggest Frito-Lay change that then Trump rolled right back. Yeah, it's pretty bleak. It is pretty bleak. I will say, just to go back to the Mamdani for a moment, he is partnering with NYC Consumer and Worker Protection with the Manhattan DA to crack down on unlawful wage theft, tenant harassment, and fraud targeting immigrants, which is fantastic, I think. He also put out an ad where he spoke in Mandarin, and he was talking about like winning a lottery for kids to be, I think it was mostly students, to go to get theater tickets for Broadway because everything's so crazy expensive. And while I totally understand that, you know, more has to happen and yada yada, the right wing pilloried him. They said it was all AI. He wasn't really speaking Mandarin so well. Like there was no way that he actually could have done that. And so they released this blooper reel, which was pretty awesome.
纽约市 Sorry, one more time. Okay, I will not show New York City high schoolers. Let me do that one more time. 免费送吃 Okay. This is Regents junior year all over again. I have a 70 in a state Regents exam.
Wow. Okay.
También. Hasta el lunes 10 y 7. No, lunes 10 y 7. One more time. Yeah, 10 y 7. Gets progressively harder. Okay.
Yeah.
多张百老汇演出门票. No, it's
almost there. Are we with our Q's and our X's and our Y's? There's
okay. Let's do them. Ching. The Theater Development Fund. Lottery. Lottery. I'm just gonna say lottery. Broadway show. দেখার জন্য.
You guys got that.
17 August. Okay, then the rest is okay.
You got it.
Okay.
I just think that he is doing something that we don't see any other politicians doing, which is just taking things day by day and trying to do something a little better for people. He's not going to fix all the everything. He can't. He's one person. But I think he's really putting almost every other politician in the country to shame.
He is. And I will, you know, I'm I am so Shama Sawant, like we got to go big and not little stuff. But look, there's no harm in what he's doing. He's still fighting for the big stuff. I don't think he's sort of like, in no way is he a Democrat, like trying to placate us so that we get just a crumb instead of some bigger change. He's fighting for the bigger change in my mind. He's just one guy, but and he's doing a lot of good for getting socialists, up and down, like destigmatizing the word socialism.
Absolutely.
And I think that's got a lot of value to it. We should show that video that you were talking about. I forgot MC Hammersmith.
Yeah. We'll just call it. Let's just show it.
Well, we'll roll the wheel after, just because I think we need to. But here's
this is the one I was talking about. This is a different video of his. Okay, but yeah.
Yes.
I don't have
MC Hammersmith, pretty white guy.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
It's hard being half Middle Eastern. Mum's English, my dad's from Damascus. It's so hard being half Middle Eastern. Why? I'm glad that you asked us. Yalla. There's so many struggles to tell, like I've got an Arabic surname that nobody can spell. My bags are inspected every time I take a flight. Then they let me go when they realize I'm white. I love chicken shawarma, but I'm so whitey, I find paprika too spicy.
What a bitter.
I'm dark-haired and hairy, but my paleness is baffling. Literally everybody thinks that I'm Italian. When I meet someone else who's from the Middle East, I'll say I'm half Syrian, that's in my genes. They'll say Mumtaz, Wayne min Surya, and I have no idea what the fuck that means. When someone next to me has a coughing sensation, I can't say Saha without a lengthy explanation. And when I rap badly and the crowd are displeased, I can't say I bombed without alerting the police.
He's great.
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's great.
He's very entertaining in his stand-up. He just takes and does live riffs off what people yell at him in the audience.
Crazy how talented he is, actually. Yeah, I agree.
Like the planned bit there is almost less funny because it doesn't show his real genius to me. Like,
yeah, I know. Maybe I just have to pull that cunt waffle the next time. All right, so we are moving on.
We were going to give.
No, we're spinning. We are spinning.
I'm sorry. I said it, so we must. We must
comply. Oh, look at that with an LOL.
All right. We'll go with the short one so that we can get back to the news. This is Peter Ravel.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! God, please, no!
From Biden, who's 82, to Trump, who's 78. And it's like, have you ever met an 80-year-old in the wild and ever thought, you should be president, you should run? It's got to be you, Herbert. You got to save this nation. Like, what other job are you thrilled to have an 80-year-old? Like, I don't want an 80-year-old plumber. Why would I want an 80-year-old president? Like, imagine your toilet is on the fritz and your friend's like, I got a guy. And in comes Joe Biden just... Where's the chamber pot? You're like, what? Chamber pot? How old is this guy? I don't think he should plumb anymore. Then Trump wouldn't fix the toilet, but he would say that he did. That would be his big move.
He's great. Before we move on, I think to ICE or Israel, I'm not sure.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? There's a couple of different things. One is I was watching Larry Wilkerson on Glenn Deason talking about how the U.S. formed Israel over the past the EU over the past 25 years. And just going back to like us talking about how now it's, billionaire tech bros who are, they own the media and the academic institutions and the politicians. And But the structure of being able to sort of infiltrate governments and institutions, media, whatever, is like that has been around obviously for decades and centuries. The way he talks about everything they laid out and how they made like ensured who would be the next Secretary General of NATO, or the way that they would become so subservient to US power, and what an enormous mistake that was. It's crazy to me that he seems he is so moderate in his views, but he worked for George W. Bush. Like, I don't know how much he's apologized for what the administration that he was part of and the havoc that they wreaked. But this clip was, and the whole interview is pretty spectacular, but it also, like, the way I'm feeling now, so overwhelmed by like the Larry Ellisons and the Peter Thiels and how they have their fingers in everything. And you realize how little any of us has ever had a say, because there's always been some mechanism, some huge force at work that's controlling everything. And that feels, it's like, it feels a little matrixy. Well,
it does, but that is just pure capitalism. Our country grew up, it's organized. We've been around for a long time. So now it's like, who owns the chip market? It's all like every sector of government has been bought and is controlled and knows how to have their hand on all politicians to decide in their favor for life.
Yeah. So here is, it's only a minute and a half, but we created Europe. This is former Chief of Staff to Secretary of State Colin Powell talking to Glenn Deason.
I take some hope from the fact that I was there. I know what we did. I know what we did to Europe. I know how painstakingly the agency, CIA, how painstakingly SIS, MI6, and to a certain extent Mossad, though they weren't in the beginning willing partners, they became partners because they saw how much money was going into it. How we, in this Asian scholar's words, taught the dogs to bark. We bought newspaper editors, we bought labor union heads, we bought parliamentarians, we bought 2 secretaries general, Jens Stoltenberg and Mark Rutte. We bought whole countries in terms of their political apparatus and what influences them. Starting in 2002, really putting the rubber to the road, as is billions of dollars to the CIA and others. U.S. aid was an instrument. They weaponized liberal democracy. We created the Europe that exists right now on purpose. And now we're paying the piper for that, I think, because it's going to take another 6 to 12, maybe 18 months to get rid of some of these people. And the parliaments, God knows how long it's going to take to get rid of the people there. We painstakingly crafted Europe in the image we wanted.
He's not wrong.
It's so overwhelming though, right? Like, and also the thing is like, they know how important it is to do all that, and they've been doing it forever. So when we have to like fight back against it, and the first step of fighting back against it is trying to wake people up and convince them that we're not conspiracy theorists. It's like,
yeah. And once we've lost mainstream media, we're all wacko conspiracy theorists, at some point. Right.
Yeah.
Or at least we're just too animated about it. Touch grass,
yeah, exactly.
It's not, you don't have to fight so hard. I'll be at the rally. Don't worry. But stop.
If
asking
the politicians,
me to do something.
If it were really important, AOC would be saying something about it.
Right. Exactly. That's the real harm that the squad and this core of feckless progressives has done, is that we look radical because we are way left of them, but they sold themselves as on the left with us.
That's their whole job, really, is just, I know we know this, but like, I do think that these reminders are important. And especially because I think, first of all, I don't know why he has so much hope when he's saying that. I watched the whole interview. I mean, I might watch it again, but like, I don't know what the hopeful thing is. And he's saying, oh, it will take, what did he say? Like 6, 10, 18 months or something. Like, it's going to take so much more than that, because his infiltration and the George W. Bush infiltration and the CIA infiltration did not take 6, 12, 18 months. It's been happening for decades.
Yeah, but how do you undo what the groups that were used to infiltrate are now working hand in hand with Mossad?
Right.
They have the intelligence. So like the things that we want to undo are the things that they would be called to undo in his system.
Yeah, I mean, again,
they're
like,
the people.
I don't understand
I'm sorry.
his hope. Yeah.
I don't know what the hope is. That our government spy, economic hitmen system of running the world and stealing resources can get back to stealing the resources better.
I mean,
is
that's
that
not
hope?
what he's saying, and he's disgusted by the Trump administration
Okay.
and the war in Iran and the genocide. Like, which is what, when I say moderate, it's like he's not. Even though he was part of a radical right-wing government, he doesn't talk that way, and he has, it seems, a really balanced and sober perspective on what our government has done around the world, right? And you know, one of the things
what does normal look to him though is what I'm saying. Like what's that look like to him? Because
he set all this up, like not just him, but like it was. I mean, his administration, the Clinton administration, Reagan, like they've all been part and parcel of it. But like he's part of why we right now is his legacy. So yeah, right. So that is, I don't understand where he might have his hope from, but he certainly is not a fan, not a fan of Russiagate, not a fan of Trump. One thing he doesn't talk about, but a lot of these sort of foreign policy prognosticators and commentators talk about Germany and the AfD party, which is an explicitly like far right. I mean, I don't think they call themselves neo-Nazi, but you know, xenophobic,
right,
supremacist. Yeah.
Well, to me, and I didn't watch the interview, so I'm just basing on this clip. It feels to me like he's saying, get back to normal without the right-wing extremists in power around the world. Or is it more than that? Because you can get rid of the AfD and still have the corporate left.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that doesn't change our relationship, you know.
Totally.
I don't
Okay.
know.
So what I was going to say about the AfD, which like I'm, fully against, obviously. But one thing that like Larry Johnson, who's a right winger, who is not, not pro DSA, Democrats, anything, even though he will also talk about the genocide, but he's not a fan of immigrants, for instance, right? And he'll talk about how the AfD is actually going to be the party that solves things because Germany right now has an enormous power grid issue. It's incredibly expensive because of our proxy war with Russia. Bye, Myra. Thanks for being here. And are helping blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. And I guess AfD says that they want to end all weapons to Ukraine, shut that down, do a deal with Russia for energy, which would have the downstream effect of not destroying other people's countries and not needing to have so many immigrants flood the way they talk about it, not the way I would talk about it, but flood the EU. And so they're like, from some of the people who are on a lot of these sort of like foreign policy discussion shows who are right wingers and who talk positively about AfD, which again, gross, for what like some of their, seminal ideology is, which is right wing and racist. But that other aspect of it is what they think will possibly help them, make them successful in their endeavors to gain power in Germany, but that will also allow Europe, which I think a lot of foreign policy analysts, both on the, lib left and on the right, think and talk about the fact that Europe has made Russia their number one enemy because of the US has been an enormous mistake for them. They should partner with Russia over the US. It would help their security. It would help their energy costs. They wouldn't have to be in these wars. But then the AfD part of it is also the byproduct of that is you would have fewer refugees because they would not be destroying other countries. Right?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, and look, the world would be better off if the U.S. didn't have so much power. And essentially that's breaking the mandatory support for whatever the fuck U.S. does with Israel is bad for the world. And, us losing our control over all these countries is good for the world.
100%.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
The racist part of it, bad. But
which is also terrifying. Like it brings us a little bit back to like the whole sorry. I can't.
Yeah. Well, it is tricky because, if they have a successful policy that people can look at and say that was good for our country and it grows the racist party, that's not good.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that the underlying policy isn't sound. It's why you need a left that's rational to be the opposition that brings something good to the people too. Exactly. And that's universal across all the countries. It's not just U.S.
But there is not that there. I mean, I think even the Green Party in Germany is pro the proxy war, the Ukraine proxy war, right? Like, I mean, yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Let's move on. I'm not even sure where to move on entirely, except that what's happening in Gary, Indiana is so horrifying. I know Hope just said it's also happening in Memphis, in Tennessee, I think, with no power, but this is 2 weeks in and nobody is talking about it. A predominantly Black community, no power, no electricity, no food, no, like, how do you boil water when a boil water alert is in place, advisory, right? If you have everything's electric and you don't have power. Big yawn, I guess.
I cannot believe no one is over here helping Gary.
Thousands of people in Gary, Indiana have been without power since August 11th.
The National Weather Service informed us that Gary faced the strongest winds, which reached 99 miles per hour, equivalent to a Category 2 hurricane.
All the power is out, as far as I know, all across Gary, Indiana.
They're losing food. Homes are getting warmer.
They do not have money, and some of the cards aren't even working. I ran into some ladies that had children, and my heart broke.
My name's Aja, and I'm going on day 7 of having no power in one of Indiana's worst blackouts and one of the highest crime cities in Indiana.
NIPSCO, the company that services 100% of customers in Gary, are now saying that it may be until next Tuesday until many people get power back.
We're on day 9 of no power in Gary, Indiana.
My neighbor across the street, my teacher down two streets down, we have no air in here.
Schools are closed. Families are throwing away spoiled food. People are driving to Illinois just to find ice for insulin.
I am from Gary, Indiana. I was born there, raised there until I was about 8 years old. My family is from there and people still live there. And many people are telling me that they still don't have power. They have trees on top of their homes. One of my cousins sent me this video of a grocery store completely decimated, food spoiled. This is also where the city gave people vouchers to, $150 of vouchers but this was the only place that they could use the vouchers.
I, for one, have not seen anybody else outside of Gary, Indiana talk about what's going on in Gary, Indiana. And I don't like it.
Gary, Indiana specifically is also almost 85% Black. That's important.
I think this should be national news, and it's crazy to me that it's not being talked about.
Absolutely. It is.
It's insane. And instead we have, I mean, listen, I sort of laughed at this because I hate ICE Gestapo, but here they are in Missouri trying to arrest people. Like yesterday I saw a video of a mom and her teenage daughter who were in the hospital in the ER. They had just survived a car accident. The mom's still in her hospital gown, and ICE agents are coming in, handcuffing her and dragging her away in a hospital gown. There's another little boy, Liam, 5 years old, just hauled away. There's absolutely, thank you, Gwen. Gwen has this fantastic mutual aid QR code. I'm not going to explain it well because I've had the wheel overserved me, but definitely follow Gwen, XPen, Gwen X, I think is that right? XPen, Gwen X. Pen Gwen X. Yeah, XPen Gwen X. Fantastic mutual aid idea for how to sort of, spam in the best way social media with QR codes that will take you directly to the mutual aid that you are wanting to support. But in the meantime, we have ICE just okay, so first of all, the video that just came out of racial slurs used by ICE agents on the hunt. So we talked about this like a year ago. There was a whistleblower who had been part of Custom and Border Patrol, and she resigned, and now she's doing some sort of, aid work for immigrants and blew the whistle on what it was like there. But tonk, when they call people tonks, it's for people who are crossing the border whom the agents think they can take the hard end of their heavy flashlight and tonk them on the head to knock them out. So these are these goons just driving through a community looking for anybody who looks like an immigrant.
And we're getting closest. Whose backpack is that? Tongue backpack?
Did you?
Yeah.
There was a guy, I'm pretty sure he's wet. He was just sitting in that minivan.
There's one right there.
Okay, great talk. The real QR stuff.
It looked like a tonk in the driver's seat.
Probably was.
I'm pretty sure he's wet. There's a tonk in the driver's seat.
Yeah, same shit that cops. They're the
same. Yeah.
They're cops with less training, which is astounding. and racist. And yeah, so it's a wet dream for these fucking racists.
100%.
But back to Gary, Indiana, if you can create this ICE force and you can militarize, bring our National Guard to enforce stuff like this and protect ICE, and why can't you get them to Gary, Indiana to deliver food and ice and water to people? Yep. I mean, look, there are some times where it's going to take 2 weeks to get the power back up. What do we have a fucking government for? I mean, you should stop the harassment of people for 2 weeks to get this fixed, and then go back to your fucking racism. It's just, I don't know. And every day I get farther and farther along the lines of being, things need to get worse. Because we need to hit bottom to where we all just fucking say, fuck this system. I'm not paying taxes. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm going to fucking go out today, put a mask on as Spider-Man and chop down some flock cameras in Minecraft, that kind of shit.
In Minecraft, for sure. Yes.
Accelerationist. I couldn't think of the fucking word. But yeah, every day I'm getting more accelerationist.
I mean, the truth is, when people are comfortable, they're not when the critical mass is fat and happy, that was truly the mistake that the government made, is they stopped allowing us to be, enough of us to be fat and happy, to not pay attention to the cruelty that they've been doing for centuries, right? This was the other thing that was in my brain. I'm so glad you just reminded me. A 1-year-old child appeared without legal, a 1-year-old without legal representation in an Arizona immigration court this week, and was told to file an asylum application before the next hearing or risk being ordered deported. And we saw all those women, you know, in
from the penitentiary, the detention center,
which was in Missouri, I can't remember, Louisiana, talking about, like, I was separated from my 5-month-old. Like, you know, if you're nursing, you are still nursing usually at 5 months, but whatever, even if you're not nursing, you have a raw little baby, you're separated. Where are those babies being taken? I mean, it's truly just child trafficking. Right?
Yeah, and our country cares more, you know, not that you shouldn't care about animals, but like, you know, the kittens, keep them with the mom, you know, like,
yeah,
we're talking about people here. And
yep.
And it's all being done under the guise of like Christian rights shit too. Like, that's the part I just like, how can you still connect this to Jesus? Like, I don't believe in God and all the religions and shit, but like, in your own beliefs, none of this should be acceptable, period. It's so clearly written in your own fucking manuscript.
I don't understand any of the justification from, like, obviously I understand why people in power are doing this. Like, that makes sense, right? They want to control us. It's all surveillance and suppression and keep us in line. Like, you know, that makes sense to me. I mean, it's disgusting, but it makes sense. I just don't understand the regular people who are signing up for this, or who are on some level justifying it, you know?
I mean, it's just pure racism, in that they've been trained to blame somebody else for their problems. And, you know, that's it. I mean, the world is fucked right now. If you don't, you got to point your anger somewhere. And if the media that you're watching and consuming all the time, and your family and your preacher is spewing some of this shit too.
Yep.
It's like, well, I got my bad guy. That's where I channel my anger. And then, you know, it's hard to change your belief system. It's really tricky because you frame everything you see as, look, a black guy on TV got arrested. You know, oh, look, there's a black person that's not educated or something, you know, like, and you just expand that to your worldview. It's just how you think of things.
Well, and then when you see that these white supremacists, nationalists, Christian Zionists, Jewish Zionists, whatever, all of them control the media, the news. So like, when, like, oh, well, why are there so many black people in jail? Why is that happening, right? Like, oh, why, you know, well, he's a DEI hire, so we're going to go after him. Oh, Claudine Gay, DEI hire, Harvard, but somehow Neri Oxman, fine, she's fine. Right? Like,
yeah.
And, you know, I do think that the humiliation of being searched, being handcuffed, I mean, you know, it was such a small moment, but like, I was holding back tears. I mean, it's so ridiculous, but like 2 years ago, we went to go see a game for one of my kids' birthdays. We went to the football stadium, and I didn't know that there was this new thing that you can only have a purse like this big and see through. And so they took my, you know, dumb little Le Sport sack, whatever, and went through all of it, took everything out, and you're standing there with, you know, thousands of people all around you, annoyed that you're holding them up as she takes out, you know, tampon, my EpiPen, whatever prescription medicine I have, whatever, and just is putting it down. And it's humiliating. And that, to have that happen like day after day, and then takes my purse.
I can't imagine.
Wouldn't even let me like fold my purse up with empty and put it in my pocket. Like, it, like, everybody, you know, just the way everybody should have to be in the service industry to know what it's like to be abused by your customers, guests. Everybody should really understand what that does and the anger that it fosters in you against a system who treats you like you're less than human over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
Okay, which is why. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think I shared this story with you before, but it's just kind of funny to me. After the 9/11 stuff, every time I would fly, I'd fit some profile, so I'd get pulled out of line, and they would do the full search and all that questions and search and all that stuff. And we were coming back from a work trip where we had all drank way too much. Our whole crew was all hungover as shit, and I had a big old pocket. I bought a big old bag of jelly beans because I needed some sugar or something, right? And I put it in my pocket, and then the bag broke. So basically, I had like this much jelly beans in my pocket. And the guy's like, empty your pockets. And I looked like a circus clown with just endless jelly beans.
That's really funny.
Like 200 jelly beans loose in my pocket. But anyway, that's not what it's like being black. I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not relating that. I get it.
So anyway, when we see something like that, Spider-Man pummeling, Jake Lang, and then the whole crowd yelling about Lang and also the cops and also Mayor Fry, there is something so cathartic about it, as there is watching these ICE Nazis on a porch in Missouri trying to arrest some poor person who probably, by the way, is a hardworking person who is doing everything, because now that's who they're arresting. They're actually mostly targeting people who are filing their paperwork, coming into their meetings, all of that, because they're the most easily found, right? So here is a group of ICE agents, the nation's finest.
Taking a dip.
Hold on.
Hey, take a breath.
Take a breath. Here's another angle.
Hold on.
Yeah. Hey, take a breath.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, loop it.
Truly, why
do we have any more angles?
Why is anybody rushing to these fuckers' assistance?
Yeah. And look, this is why you want to deregulate construction. Deregulate. And landlords are great. They're not slumlords. It was a very well built deck. It's just, the market will speak. If they're bad landlords, people won't rent from them again or something.
Well, now that you mentioned it, remember that crazy video that what's her name who left with the cowboy hat? She was the head of DHS, and Christy Nome. Put out the videos of ICE agents rappelling down from helicopters in Chicago. ProPublica just did a huge, in-depth investigation. Sorry, my brain. And whatever happened, because not a single criminal charge from that whole crazy experience, not a single criminal charge came out of that. Not one. So they were rappelled down into this area where they say it's all Tren de Aragua, the worst of the worst,
they just make up gangs that don't even exist.
Yeah. Rappelling down in the middle of Chicago to this slumlord. And so this is where all of, when the rabbit holes that I go down where I'm like, oh my God, it's all connected and whatever. But just what you're saying, okay, you want these poor people to be, evicted from your disgusting building, so maybe you can sell it to somebody else. So you call ICE on these people, but meanwhile, there are still Americans in this building. So this is Stephen Miller said a Chicago apartment building raided by immigration agents was filled with terrorists. So why is it that not a single person arrested that night was charged with a crime? This was like, so this whole interview is so crazy. Pretty massive building. It's a U-shaped 5-story building. I think it has 130 units. It was pretty run down looking, like boarded up. This is from the reporting tape. This is a few different, it's all, it was all transcribed, but there are a bunch of different investigative journalists who are discussing this. Okay, so the metal black fence is broken in some places. There was garbage everywhere. What does it smell like to you? Mold. We were told there were rodents and other things in the building. The city had sued the property owner sometime earlier for the conditions. They were not safe conditions. One thing that stuck out to me and Jody, on the 3rd floor, we met a woman who doesn't have any legs, and she was stuck in her unit because the elevator often didn't work. So this person who's been sued by the city,
basically, she fake doxed her own people.
ICE to come. Yeah. It's crazy.
You know what's wild to me? Yeah. Like, we just live in such a cartoon world now, because the whole hut video where they're doing rappelling down the wood.
Yeah.
It goes back to the Blues Brothers in the 70s, movie, The Blues Brothers. Yeah. And they were like Illinois Nazis, and all the incompetent police were doing just that as a bit in Chicago, because that was Chicago. Yeah. So it's like the same city even. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just wild to me that this is our real life now. All this crazy shit that we made jokes about.
These people getting beaten by these ICE agents, and the way they are being treated in the torture dungeons where they're being kept. It's horrifying. And then, just to end that, at the end of all of this, the government never provided any proof they were gang members. The men say they were beaten and tortured, and that's the end of it. Who's going to pay the price of that? And if nobody thinks that Hakeem Jeffries, even if Democrats somehow manage to, have some kind of a wave and take over Congress and Senate, or take over the House and Senate.
Yeah.
They are not for abolishing ICE. They're not for defunding the police. They are not for Medicare for all. They're not for ending all aid to Israel. So,
and why are they not even doing the easy shit to win and pointing out, look, all this in where Gary, Indiana, the election. Yep. Pin that to the Republicans. This requires a federal response. This is easy shit. Yep. You're highlighting an issue that needs fixing, which says you're fighting for the working people. You care about people. If you're Democrats, the black women got everyone elected in the Democratic Party. That's your whole mantra. It's all, right. That's why you can't vote for Bernie, because he's racist, because it's a party of black women, right? Well, here's 85% black community with no power for 2 weeks, and you're not even bringing it up as an issue to leverage against the racist party in power. It's such a failure of intentional, but it just gives the game away that they don't care at all.
It's so stark. Oh, Hala, thank you. We didn't see this. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you. It was a bright thank you for becoming a member. No, they don't care at all. And every day we see another horrifying event or plan of action or whatever it is. And there's no, I honestly, the video, I sent it to Pat or he sent it, I don't know, we were talking about it in the middle a couple nights ago, but with AOC showing her poochie belly because of her IVF treatments and saying, and I'm hearing this now, it's like they heard Tim Walz say, oh, that's just weird. The Republicans are just weird. Remember for a while, everybody was like, oh, he just kind of brushes them off. And it was when Kamala's campaign was doing sort of well. And
I forget that connection.
Yeah.
Because they did that. They made out a theme about Walls because he was the one calling out Trump correctly. Like, that stuff's weird.
Yeah. And now,
So,
now her thing, every time she does another IVF video, she's like, now don't be weird about this, you guys. You guys don't be weird. And it's like, again, like, fine. I'm fine sharing all that stuff. I'm not a prude. I think it is a concern that women are having to put off having children for longer. We don't like tie it into what's happening. We don't have any governmental support. Like, look at what happens in what was it? Was it Scotland? But I mean, lots of countries do this where like you have a baby and they send you a baby basket and like you have time
Here's
off
the first
from work
diapers
and support. Yeah. You get home visits from a lactation nurse. You get like all these different things. Tie it into all of that. I don't care about your fucking belly. Do you see what's like? There's a 1-year-old baby going to immigration court by himself. What are you doing?
Yeah. No, and it's a self-serving thirst trappy thing, right? That's what it is. It's self-serving. And like there's a lot of like socialist leftist thirst trappy, influencer types, but they use that and they're like, okay, now that you're looking, let me tell you about socialism and communism and healthcare, and like it's intentional in some respect. And maybe it's ego too, who cares? But like, do you have a minute to put out a TikTok for Gary, Indiana? And blame the Republicans for being pieces of shit, not willing to send in some federal support?
Yeah.
Because that's what we used to do in government just 20 years ago. The one side, anything that happened under the current president, where there should be a federal response.
Kanye got up there and was like, George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Yeah. Can we not get a single fucking Democrat to do that?
I mean, I haven't heard any of them talk about Gary, Indiana. Not one.
Easy W. It's an easy W for Democrats. Because if they have media time, it's got to be about Hassan Piker instead. That's really more important.
I mean, truly lost. Instagram politician. That's exactly right. Yeah. Okay. So just to continue a little bit of ICE stuff, one of the sailors on the USS Lincoln, his dad was just taken by ICE. This is from his, I think it's a Facebook post. I'm not entirely sure. I've been deployed for over 9 months out at sea in the Middle East aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, fighting for a country that has given me everything. I mean, let's just ignore that initial statement, but I just got a call that my dad was taken by ICE. If you know my dad, you know he's a hardworking, humble man who is always willing to help anyone if he can. My dad has had his has his driver's license, social security card, and work permit. We've done everything through immigration to get his green card approved, and we are just waiting. This is heartbreaking for me. I don't know how I can mentally continue working 12+ hour days knowing that my dad is somewhere possibly being treated like a criminal. My dad's only crime was coming to this country to give my siblings and me a better life. Dad, I don't know where you are right now, but know that I'm doing everything I can to bring you back home. I love you with all my heart. Please stay strong. I'm coming home, Dad. I just, like, that is awful. And yet, I'm sorry, but I think about what people are doing when they go to the Middle East and how they treat other people's parents and children. And, like, it's horrific that our government would treat our military the way they do. But also, it's time for a little bit of introspection about who we are and what our military does. When you see, like, he's treated like a criminal, maybe have a thought about what's a criminal, what's a terrorist. Like, like somewhere, nothing's going to change until people make that connection. And I'm not saying there are no criminals. Of course there are, but like, yeah.
I obviously agree. I mean, the only thing I could say is I have empathy for them, as in they were duped into believing America is righteous, and that's a lot of it. And then a lot of the people in the military come from no opportunity, so they're sort of victims 100%. In a way, and there's all that piece to it. But if you re-enlist and go to BlackRock and all that shit,
Where has anybody checked on Graham Plattner? What's going on?
I don't.
I mean,
I hope
they
he's not
wanted it.
all right. Honestly, I hope he's not all right. But
Okay, a couple other things. We talked about the shock gloves, the electric shock gloves. That the great thing about them is that you can do maximum damage with no visual scars. So like
That's
has
great,
an effect,
yeah.
but it's hard to prosecute you if you use those because they don't leave any physical remnant of the act.
Right,
They have
it's-
now been ordered for schools in Omaha, Nebraska.
oh, nice schools.
The other thing that is so crazy is they are now charging this one guy. U.S. Customs says it has the authority to search the electronic devices of anyone entering or leaving the U.S., regardless of citizenship, to enforce laws addressing whatever. Deleting the data, which this guy did, means up to 5 years in jail. He had some like code. What's it called? Like that would blow everything up inside his phone. It was like, to get out
If it's
of
taken,
yeah,
it self-destructs essentially
it's
the data.
self-destruction,
The
but yeah.
data.
And it deleted all of his data on the phone. He's being charged.
Yeah.
Because
What's that called?
apparently-
The trigger. I know what you're trying to think of
Yeah.
the term of.
It's my brain.
Like a doomsday device, but there's an actual term. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. I mean, you should be able to delete your own data. It's data. Like it's information. I mean, it's not, you're not a victim. You're not like when a court has to order you to not delete data. Like that's how it works. A court has to say, preserve the information for a lawsuit because we have reasonable suspicion to think that blah, blah.
Yep.
Just, but no, not now.
I mean, like, again, I keep going back to what does it mean to be American and America first and to be protecting our
Kill
freedoms?
switch. Thank you.
Kill switch. Who said that? Thank you, Justin.
I knew Justin would have it. I should have just asked him.
Kill switch. That's what I was looking for. I saw this also. Oh my God, Holly. They are considering removing the name of a black sailor to name the ship after Trump. I mean, yeah.
Well, you just know if they do it, it's going to sink or something because the irony is happening everywhere here. Like the gods are fighting back a little bit against these losers.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Manchester, UK, Paul, good to see you. I love that. What time is it where you are? It's 8 hours ahead. 3 in the morning, 3:20 in the morning. Is that what?
Heck yeah! What are you drinking?
Well, welcome. Wait, there was another thing that I saw that I wanted to. Oh, I saw Adria's here. Hello, how are you? Okay, the other bit of good news. Remote wipe. Remote wipe, but I do think it was the kill switch, but yes. Okay. The other thing about ICE, just like cops, is the enormous percentage of these Nazi Gestapo fuckers who abuse women and children. The worst of the worst.
More than 90 names were added to this report. Again, these are Department of Homeland Security employees who have been accused, charged, or sentenced with violent crimes, many of which are crimes against children. I spoke to the executive director of the Ohio Immigrant Alliance about this latest report. She says it was emotionally exhausting to put together.
So this is the offense breakdown?
Lynn Tremonti is the director of Ohio Immigrant Alliance, the nonprofit immigrant advocacy group responsible for this series of reports called The Worst of the Worst.
These are violent offenses against women and children. Some of them are against their own family members.
Tremonti added 94 names of people employed by the Department of Homeland Security to her second list. Spectrum News used court records and releases from federal and state agencies to independently verify that 39 of the employees identified in the report were charged or sentenced for crimes. 35 of those individuals are accused of committing crimes against children, ranging from sexual exploitation to child pornography. This is in addition to the 13 individuals charged or sentenced for crimes against children, identified by Spectrum News in Tremonti's first report. 2 of those 13 are from Ohio.
The peak years both were 2025 was the peak year until 2026, and we're not even done with 2026. So the problem's skyrocketing.
Tremonti is advocating for the Department of Homeland Security Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office to work like a civil agency, think the IRS, rather than an enforcement agency.
These should be desk jobs. And when you're enforcing civil laws properly, without guns, without jails, without this cowboy culture, you don't attract people who want to abuse others.
The Department of Homeland Security says enforcement and removal operations, which is led by ICE, quote, upholds U.S. immigration law at, within, and beyond our borders. ERO's work is critical to the enforcement of immigration law against those who present a danger to our national security, are a threat to public safety, or who otherwise undermine the integrity of our immigration system. Spectrum News reached out to the Department of Homeland Security's Immigration and Customs Enforcement Media Office about this latest report from the Ohio Immigrant Alliance. They didn't reply to our request for comment.
And now they have power to rape the young girls in ICE detention, migrant detention centers, cages, have a 1-year-old with no parent, or like just being like it is exactly like watching the IDF haul off these little Palestinian kids, take them to jail, to prison, to their torture chambers, and like that is what's happening. I don't want to see your fucking IVF treatment. I don't care. I really don't care, AOC. Like, I do not fucking care.
No. And the public is so against ICE.
Yeah.
Like, they're against it. You don't have to sugarcoat wanting to abolish ICE. Easiest thing on earth to say, we should have some reasonable enforcement of our immigration laws. We can go back to that without ICE.
Yeah.
Get rid of ICE.
Like, what happened
just get rid of fucking ICE.
That 225 years, right?
How many people does that message turn off versus how many people are like, oh, you're fighting for the workers. We get it. Yes. Right. The little guy. Yes.
Yep.
And even the people that were, even the Democrats who bought the message that we needed to get tougher on immigration, the centrist Democrat, normie people that we know, are like, ICE overstepped its boundaries. This is an easy pullback. Why aren't we hearing that message clearly from Democrats?
They have to be willing to be way more forceful and contentious, not only with the people they pretend to oppose, the Republican Party, but also when they come on these, I mean, whatever, they're not going to do any of this, but like,
no. Well, if
anybody believes in anything, yeah, exactly. We're just going to reform it. We're going to give them more training.
The key is give cameras. Them more money.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, give them more money. Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing. It's like, what's a crime? What's a terrorist? Who should have voting rights? Who came here illegally? Melania was here illegally. Elon Musk and his brother were here illegally, right? They're fine. How many people are you allowed to kill? If you're Luigi, 1, and you're locked up for life. If you are a Democrat if you're Hakeem Jeffries and you don't believe in Medicare for all, $114,000 a year, just here. And that's before you even get to the genocide you're supporting, right? Like, so I don't know. How many people are you allowed to murder, and what qualifies as a crime? Because there's no consistency at all.
Yeah, and if your message to the world or in the U.S. is that we have such a big tent that you don't even need to support healthcare for everybody.
Yeah, awesome.
I mean, how are we going to get healthcare if your message is, well, you can be pretty Republican on healthcare, or pretty, I mean, that's the framing is like, you're allowed to have anti-Medicare for all views. In fact, our leader does. And it's a detriment to the people that have pro-Medicare for all views, because now I could say, well, you're not going to get DCC support because, that's, you're against me. So somehow my power usurps what the voters want.
And you got Casey Hunt ass saying like, oh, but do you want the support from the Democrats, but you're not going to support Jeffries? Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I support the 114,000 people that Jeffries is okay killing every year because he is against Medicare for all. I support Palestinian, not even just children, people who don't deserve to be exterminated in a Holocaust. I support Iranian citizens, Lebanese, Yemeni, Syrians. I support Cuba. Like, how many people, Venezuelans, like, how many people have to be slaughtered before Casey Hunt decides, like, maybe the people in leadership aren't the good guys? Audria, I can't wait to read that. Audria writes so many great pieces on the working class, on, you know, what's happening in our country. I am very much looking forward to what I'm also sure is going to be a horrifying expose, but keep up the good work with your journalism and your investigations and your cheese cutting. It was a Roquefort Blue today. I wish I had some. All right. I just, man, it's
you know, I know we're wrapping up here, but we did not play Lego, and we cannot go. We cannot have a Lego free day, even though Myra's gone. She's going to miss it. But
all right.
Which Lego would you like? I think you should choose here.
Oh God. Okay, let me see, because there's, you know, some of them have been pretty morbid recently, because I mean they should be. Oh wait, we already saw the green pool blue lie, and I forgot to take it away. All right. This is these are all just really very sad. All right, I don't even remember if this is good or not, but I am hoping it kind of gives us the feels that we want to have. Leave DC, bitch, by MC.
It's a winner already.
MC Ice Cap.
I ain't gonna eat, gonna sleep, gonna breathe until Donnie Liar is at the big seat. And it need be soon, not 2028, that's too long. We need relief, need to grieve all the Trump falling. The ones victimized by him, by ICE, by his lies, by his wars. Cap ain't gonna retreat to the bitch behind locked doors. As long as Cap here, there be no forgiving, no forgetting, no mercy, no pause, no succumbing to his threatening. And we need to be free, not just me and you, but everybody to be themselves, have dignity enough to eat and live well. So Captain the Creek gonna holler to the bitch locked in the cell. If you agree, stand with me to the motherfuckers in hell. Cap stand for the fix, for the poor and the sick. None of Robin Hood, but it's close we get till we see some real leaders on the DC set. Cap heard the cry, saw red lids by the lies, saw Trump coming like a big bad wolf in disguise. He don't know me, he too below me, but believe me, he owe me, and he gon' pay the price. Be exposed as a phony, but even that ain't enough. Cap want the red lids banned, they symbols like swastikas that be a threat to the land. 12 years of your shit be 12 years too much. Now we on cleanup duty, cause our country got fucked. Now leave DC, bitch. Take your lies and resign. Be impeached at 25 any way you wanna get it done. Get them going, get them going. Or believe me, Cap swearing that it's on. Take your lies and resign. Take your lies and resign. Be impeached at 25 any way you wanna get it done. Get them going, get them going, get them going, get them going. Hey, Ty Blanche, no one forgetting about you. Cap already reserving the cell for you too. For the island files, the lies, the two bill slush fund. You second the prayer, so once we have his head, you be second to none. Keg breath, nah. Where you think you going? You killed innocent men, women, children, willing and knowing, and now you gonna own it. No mark on your forehead, bitch, so Cap, see you too. There be blood in the Caribbean, and it be belonging to you. RFK, nah, you and brainworm ain't getting away. You responsible for the diarrhea crisis, the measles outbreak. Leaving you misses with kids on you, Cap, gonna be tough. Go home to your wrinkled old man, that be punishment enough. Cash, you know that would flip this bill. Fine, you and Cap, you share a beer, split a pill. No dog, see Cap just clowning. You one of the worst, and you need a legal pounding. Now leave DC, bitch. Take your lies and resign. Be impeached at 25 any way you wanna get it done. Get them going, get them going. Oh, believe me, Cap swearing that it's on. Yeah. All you corrupt ass bitches, keep all y'all's riches. See how much good phone. Cap wants you to look good for Nuremberg too.
I do love seeing the worm out of RFK's brain.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. Don't eat the infected Argentinian ground beef, please.
Don't eat the product. They teach you that as a drug. The gangs, don't use the product.
The product that's being imported to make ground beef. I mean, they do not try to sell that as anything anybody should at all want to ingest. All right. Anything else to say? Don't eat the lettuce.
Yeah, come to America.
Also, just as a reminder, COVID growing in nearly every state. Growing. Mask up.
And they're manipulating the graphs again. They're back to that where they're.
Oh my God!
They just changed, the fear level. The numbers would have put it in the fear level, and they're like, well, no, that's in the don't be so scared level now.
Yeah.
So
Same
numbers. They just.
It's just a cold. It's just a cancer heart attack, stroke, diabetes, Parkinson's, cold. Enjoy.
Good stuff. We will be back on Wednesday. Cheery as ever.
All the positivity we can muster. Listen, the truth is everything is capitalism. So the more we can stop those cogs, the better. And boycott, divest, sanction is the nonviolent way to go. So in that spirit, cheers to everybody. We love you guys. Keep punching it.
Amen.
املأ الأرض بتكبير يهز الغاصبين من لأننا الثكالة إلا رب العالمين كبروا الله أكبر لا تهابوا الحاقدين إن في التكبير نصر هذا درب الصالحين كبروا الله أكبر لا تهابوا الحاقدين إن في التكبير نصر هذا درب الصالحين الله أكبر صيحة في كل حين يا طواغيت الزمان لن نهون ولن نلين لن نهون ولن نلين لن نهون ولن نلين لن نهون ولن نلين الله أكبر